Varian Fry left a great impact on the Holocaust and the lives of its victims. Contributing factors include the Emergency Rescue Committee, the methods of escape, and his moral values. The Emergency Rescue Committee, also known as the ERC, met in New York after alarming news from France. France and Poland had declared war on Germany, not expecting battle to reach their own borders. After a surprise attack from Germany, France divided into two zones, North and South. North became occupied by Germany, and South by France. This caused Americans to worry about the refugees residing in France, and the issue called for the help of the Emergency Rescue Committee. Their ultimate goal intended to save the lives of as many refugees as possible. They managed to raise $3,000 for the rescue of about 10 refugees. Among these refugees, the Nazis wanted those on the blacklist most, and the ERC acquired the names of these refugees on that list. However, obstacles arose while acquiring permission to bring the Jews located in France into the United States into safety. One issue became obtaining emergency visas for all the refugees potentially entering the United States and these other safe countries. The Emergency Rescue Committee and other groups that wanted to help the refugees convinced President Roosevelt to authorize a limited number of emergency visas that would enable several hundred refugees to come to the United States. President Roosevelt took a great deal of convincing from the committees and his own wife, but he consented and allowed the refugees to come into America. The task of getting them from France to the United States remained. The ERC appointed Varian Fry, the only one to step up, to be the man to bring the refugees back to the United States and assist them into other safe areas away from the Nazis. Being inexperienced in relief work, no one thought of Fry as a likely candidate. Afterwards, the ERC realized Fry acted as a perfect person to complete the job and save the lives of the Jews in France. In the fall of 1940, Fry set out on his dangerous journey to France. Fry wrote after his experiences. Armed with $3,000 in cash, which was taped to his leg, and the conviction that every Jew in France was in danger of his life, I arrived in Marseille on August 15, 1940. Fry most likely failed to realize then what the task given to him entailed. Later, this would force him into asking for help from other rescuers. Originally, he received a list of 200 people, of whom he did not know, to give rescue visas. Realizing that the job was beyond the strength of one person, he organized a staff of trustworthy people to help him in what he realized would be a vast rescue operation, way beyond the 200 people on his list. The staff interviewed between 60 and 70 refugees a day. Pictured are a few of the many refugees that the ERC saved. So how exactly did these Jewish refugees get from France into safe territories? Fry, being new to relief work, had no previous experience, and he had to adapt swiftly. But he quickly learned how to secure visas, obtain false passports, forge paperwork, and organize transport convoys to Lisbon. Fry required courage in order to complete operations like these illegally, endangering his own life while he tried to save the lives of others. As time went on, he and his team became increasingly innovative. In one instance, more than 100 refugees disguised as farm laborers were smuggled across the French-Spanish border along unpatrolled paths. They set up escape routes that spread across the borders of France so they could not be detected. They all led to safe places for the refugees to stay or to travel to other safe locations. Some people were smuggled out of the country by Fry's group in the guise of demobilized French soldiers, on troop ships sailing from Marseille to North African ports, then still under French control. The escapers included various mountain passes from Banyuls, France to Port-Bau, Spain, or from other various departure points. The staff developed cautiousness, which helped them set up escape routes to avoid being caught by the German-controlled French authorities. Nevertheless, some of the refugees that the ERC intended to save failed to leave France without being caught. None of the rescue missions attempted could have been completed successfully if it were not for the moral values of Varian Fry. Passionate about the rescue operations he was pursuing, he worked without stop to save the lives of the Jews being treated inhumanely and unjustly. It has been said, there was once such a scribbler whose sudden and selfless concern for humanity clashed tragically with America's indifference. Fry stepped up when the rest of the world turned their backs. He could not live with himself knowing that he sat back and watched the worst genocide of the 20th century happen. During his time in France, Fry and his team took on feats they never could have imagined. But without these brave soldiers fighting for the good of mankind, thousands would be added to the number of Jews that lost their life during the horrendous period of the Holocaust. Despite some tragic failure, Fry arranged the escape of many of the 200 on his original list, plus nearly 2,000 others. It was not possible for Fry and his staff to save all of the refugees that came to them seeking help and freedom, but the determination Fry possessed allowed the team to move on and save as many lives as possible. The amount of lives saved numbered in the thousands. This is an accomplishment worth remembering, but Fry did not receive any recognition during his lifetime for the heroic acts he performed. Few living at the time appreciated or recognized Fry for the incredible things he accomplished. It took great humility on the part of Varian Fry to silently save the lives of endangered Jews in the occupied region of France. Fry came into France one man and came out another. His view of the world and his people changed into that of a wise, morally rich man. He often wrote letters to his wife, writing of his emotions and of the changes in his life. He once wrote, "I do not think that I shall ever be quite the same person I was when I kissed you goodbye at the airport and went down the gangplank to the waiting Pan American clipper. I've developed or discovered within me powers of resourcefulness, of imagination and courage, which I never before knew I possessed."